I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, October the 14th, brought to you in part by Noromycin by Norbrook. Noromycin 300 LA is effective and economical and is your go-to antibiotic for a wide range of cattle diseases and infections. For more information, go to norbrook.com. Consumer Price Index, or CPI report, came out on Thursday, and it was not good news. It shows that the Fed is continuing to lose its battle against inflation. Our September CPI year over year was 8.2%, and yeah, it wasn't as big year over year as August was, which was 8.3, but it's not coming down very fast. It's basically your CPI is what people have to pay for things, and we know that everything is higher. I mean, extremely high, and it's really getting bad, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. Now, the only way to fix that is to raise interest rates and cool the economy, which the economy already sucks, but we're having to raise interest rates again. Likely it's going to be 0.75 of a point on the next meeting here, and now it's getting where people can't afford to buy homes or vehicles likely, and all those kinds of things, which really cools your economy down. The Magoo administration wants to focus on your core CPI, which it excludes food and energy. Yeah, well, food and energy, or gas, is basically what we have to pay more for, but indirectly your energy is making everything higher because we have to have transportation or freight to get things where they're going, and it's making it higher. But your core CPI is still 6.6% year over year, and that's a 40-year high. How that's going to affect our beef markets, I'm not sure. Of course, when things are like this, it affects your lower income people more than anybody, and that's the toughest part of it. But is that going to affect our prices for meat, or especially beef, that much? It remains to be seen. It really hasn't so far. We've still got great beef demand, especially for export. And for your lower income people, if they don't raise the prices for beer and cigarettes that much, probably not going to make that much difference. Now, whenever those people get ready to celebrate, they get ready to have a cookout, they're still going to buy beef. People celebrate with beef. They don't celebrate with chicken breasts and turkey and things like that, except for on Thanksgiving, which that's going to come up here soon enough. But I think we're hanging in here with our beef demand, especially for export, like I said, and not too many places where you can get that high quality, sweet ribeye rolls that everybody wants unless they come to the USA to get them. Now, I've told you guys many times that I'm a big fan of our regional packers. They are what's holding this industry together. It's not our big four that's holding us together. They're raping us like crazy in the cattle business, but your smaller regional packers, the ones, not the really tiny ones, but the ones that are domestically owned, and they still harvesting several cattle, but they will push the market for quality, and they'll push the market for numbers because they don't have as much captive supply as your big four, and we really rely on them. But the sterling reputation that Nebraska Beef, one of our core regional packers, has always had, has been tarnished here of late. And coming out October the 5th, which is pretty recent there, we saw that they have settled a case and agreed to pay a $200,000 fine, which is nothing. But if you look at the case, it was pretty serious charges there. It was about beef grading, and they had two former employees plead guilty to falsely classifying beef products. Basically taking boxes of product, or maybe even carcasses, and changing the grade on them. That's serious stuff right there. They're basically focusing it on 30 carcasses, which that would be minor for the $200,000 fine. But these charges go back 10 years ago, all the way to 2012. And if you think that it happened on 30 carcasses or boxes of product, likely it was a whole lot more than that. And like normal, when we get the government coming in and fining companies like that, it's so small that it really doesn't make much of a difference. But $200,000, they'd spill more than that digging in their pocket. But we hate to see that, and we hate to see the tarnish of the reputation of our important regional packers that are really holding this industry together. Let's talk about your board. Your October live cattle futures were up a little bit because we're getting down here towards the middle part of the month in our spot month, and our Southern Plains market was higher. So likely that's going to cause our weighted average to be higher. They didn't want to fall off the mark, so it was up 27 cents at 146.45. All the rest of your traded months on live cattle were lower. December down 52 cents at 147.92, and your back months down 2 cents to down 42. October feeder cattle down 75 cents at 174.75. Corn was up a little bit. November down 57 cents at 176.10. Your back months were kind of mixed, but mostly lower, from down 77 cents to up just a nickel on one traded month there. But Chicago Board of Trade corn futures were up 4 3/4 cents during regular trading, ending at 6.97 3/4 cents a bushel. Beans down 1/4 cent at 13.95 3/4. Fat cattle trade did develop, and it is higher in the Southern Plains, a full dollar higher. Highest it's been since the market retreated from our all-time record highs in 2014, but in 2015 we were still pretty high. And Southern Plains market is now matching all the way back to then. But the Northern Plains, your packers are really resisting 150. And I've told you what a big threshold that is, and I want somebody to show me that 150 before I believe it. I thought we would touch 150 in direct trade on Thursday. According to our confirmed sales, we didn't. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't a few sales of that somewhere, maybe late Thursday, or maybe come in on Friday in some really top quality product. But you look at your trades on Thursday. Of course, Colorado's confidential. We don't get to see that. Iowa had 5,500 as all confirmed sales on Thursday, about 12,000 so far for the week. So we did see some Wednesday late trade that we didn't really get to see the results from. But live sales on Thursday from 146 to 148. That's up higher in your last week's price spread. So your weighted averages are going to be higher for the week for sure. Dress trade from 230 to 232. Nebraska, 9,400 head confirmed on Thursday, 10,500 head for the week. Live sales in Nebraska on Thursday from 147 to 148.5, inching closer to that 150, but not breaking it. Dress sales at 232 in Nebraska. Kansas, about 2,100 confirmed on Thursday, likely a lot more than that after the 2 o'clock deadline to turn those sales in. About 4,500 head for the week, so we did have some late Wednesday sales, but 145 was the lone price in Kansas, and like I said, that's a full dollar higher, and that's significant and encouraging that we got a full buck higher in the Southern Plains. Texas, 2,600 head, 7,400 for the week, so quite a bit of late Wednesday sales there, and the one price of 145. Box beef cutout values were mixed again. Choice just can't seem to get much higher. Keeps losing it. Choice cuts on Thursday afternoon down 13 cents at 246.53. Selects up 160 at 215.86. Slaughter information up through Thursday, 511,000 head harvested. That's 1,000 more than the big week last week, 34,000 more than the same week a year ago, and these change speeds are still running fast, guys. Your actual slaughter information for the week ending October the 1st come in, and those average dressed steer carcass weights were up again, up 2 pounds from the previous report at 917 pounds, but our grading continues to go down. They're not putting as much corn in those rations, guys. Talk about what else is going on. I'm headed down to South Texas, El Campo, Texas. That's about as far as you can go from my house without leaving the state, but going down for the G&A Auctions 4th annual fall special replacement bull and female sale put together by my friend Colt Adams that lives down in that country, and then he and his brother recently purchased El Campo Livestock Exchange, going to have it there at their sale barn. and they'll have a nice offering of South Texas replacements there. That is F1 Brayford country there, guys, and they'll have lots of them, and they'll be in nice lots. Get on to dvauction.com and view and bid that sale. I'll be there collecting bids for that G&A auction replacement sale. Talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV Auction late in the day on Thursday set at 173.67. That was up 63 cents, so pretty good movement there. And we had some high volume sales in the northern plains that picked that up a little bit, and we'll talk about them in just a second. But talk about your consistently high volume sales on Thursday. Farmers and Ranchers Livestock in Salina, Kansas had 2,500 head. Feeder steers over 800 pounds were $1 to $2 higher. Not so much on those weighing under 800 pounds, but a stick-out sale at Salina, Kansas was 118 head. 857 pound steers bring 181.10. Winter Livestock in Pratt, Kansas had 2,000 head there. And it was a lighter run for them, and a lot of smaller bunches. Didn't have a lot of their big reputation deals in there, but had some fancy calves on offer, and those light calves were sharply higher than last week. Those guys aren't finding any more places to turn those cattle out, but they are realizing that if they can't get some feed put together and put some pounds on those cattle, those yearlings are going to be worth something down the line, guys. Talk about our newest broadcast customer with DV Auction. Had their first sale broadcast with DV Auction. It was Eureka, Kansas. Eureka Livestock Sales had a nice little sale there, including 58 steers weighed 865 and 175 and a quarter. And if you guys want to have your markets talked about on the feeder flash here on National Beef Wire, Cattle Market Central, you don't necessarily have to broadcast with us. We can tie into your automated market reporting system there and get that information, and we will put it out. Don't play any favorites, but if you're a broadcasting customer, we're likely going to be more familiar with what's going on in your sale. Some other quotes around the circuit. How about Belle Fourche Livestock Market in Belle Fourche, South Dakota? Sold 97 head, 498 pound steers, same as 500 pounds, at $2.39 a pound. Pretty impressive quote there. How about Broken Bow Livestock Market in Broken Bow, Nebraska? Had the highest yearling quotes that I've seen for quite a while, and for sure the highest this week, including 60 head, 884 pound steers in Broken Bow, Nebraska at $187.75. Your Zoetta stick-out sale of the day was Ogallala Livestock Auction in Ogallala, Nebraska. 6,200 head of feeder cattle on offer there. The calves weighing under 500 pounds, the Pee-wee calves, the 3 and 4 weights, were sharply higher. I mean, $15, $16 higher than the last sale there, which is really significant. Middleweight calves weighing 500 to 700 pounds, steady to $4 lower. Look at this automated market report from Cattle Market Central, and you see those big strings of cattle weighing in the 4s and 5s especially. 1,514 head of 4-weight steer calves, average 453, with a weighted average price on all 1,500 and some of them of $225.02. Wow. 1,413 head of 5-weight steer calves in Ogallala, average 538 with a weighted average price of $203.76. Got several heifers, but evidently they are keeping a few heifers back in that country. Not as dry there, but they have more access to forage than a lot of places in this country. But 968 head of 4-weight heifer calves, average 456 with a weighted average price of $193.55. 665 head of 5-weight heifers, average 550 pounds at $178.76. Best quote that I saw anywhere on Thursday indeed come out of Ogallala Livestock Auction, and it was on some of those Pee-wee calves. Your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day out of Ogallala, Nebraska was on 222 head of 389 pound little steer calves, all in one draft, one owner, bring $2.62 a pound. And that's your feeder flash for Friday.